Brother Ben here. Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. All right, we are on part 3 of Eat That Frog. This is where we left off on the screen, just in case you were wondering, where it says make a list of all of our projects, the big multitask jobs that are important to your future, lay out the major goals, projects, tasks by priority. So if you didn't get a chance to do that, take a screenshot of it and strive to apply it maybe over the weekend. If you missed part 2 or part 1 of how to overcome procrastination, please go to the YouTube page, Brother Ben X, and check it out. Brother Ben X. Go check it out. A lot of good knowledge inside of this book as it pertains to procrastination and getting stuff done, a lot more done in less time. So let's continue on through this thing. Today, one of the things we're going to talk about is the 80-20 rule. It says apply the 80-20 rule to everything. We always have time enough if we will but use it all right. We always have time enough if we will but use it all right. The 80-20 rule is one of the most helpful of the concepts of time and life management. It is also called the Pareto principle, after its founder, the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who first wrote about it in 1895. Pareto noticed that people in his society seemed to divide naturally into what he called the vital few, the top 20% in terms of money and influence, and the trivial many, the bottom 80%. He later discovered that virtually all economic activity was subject to this principle as well. For example, this principle says that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. 20% of your customers will account for 80% of your sales. 20% of your profits, 20% of your products or services will account for 80% of your profits. 20% of your tasks will account for 80% of the value of what you do, and so on. This means if you have a list of 10 items to do, 2 of those items will turn out to be worth 5 or 10 times more than the other 8 items put together. Number of tasks versus importance of tasks. Here's an interesting discovery. Each of the 10 tasks may take the same amount of time to accomplish, but 1 or 2 of those tasks will contribute 5 or 10 times the value of any of the others. Often one item on the list of 10 tasks that you have to do can be worth more than all the other 9 items put together. This task is invariably the frog that you should eat first. Can you guess on which items the average person is most likely to procrastinate? The sad fact is most people procrastinate on the top 10 or 20% of the items that are the most valuable and important, the vital few. They busy themselves instead of the least important, with the least important 80%, the trivial many that contribute very little to results. Focus on activities, not accomplishments. You often see people who appear to be busy all day long but seem to accomplish very little. This is almost always because they are busy working on tasks that are of low value while they procrastinating on the one or two activities that, if they completed them quickly and well, could make a real difference to their companies and to their careers. The most valuable tasks that you can do each day are often the hardest and most complex, but the payoff and rewards for completing these tasks efficiently can be tremendous. For this reason, you must adamantly refuse to work on tasks in the bottom 80% while you still have tasks in the top 20% left to be done. Before you begin work, always ask yourself, is this task in the top 20% of my activities or in the bottom 80%? Rule: resist the temptation to clear up small things first. Remember, whatever you choose to do over and over eventually becomes a habit that is hard to break. If you choose to start your day working on low value tasks, you will soon develop the habit of always starting and working on low value tasks. This is not the kind of habit you want to develop or keep. The hardest part of any important task is getting started on it in the first place. Once you actually begin work on a valuable task, you will be naturally motivated to continue. A part of your mind loves to be busy working on significant tasks that can really make a difference. Your job is to feed this part of your mind continually. Motivate yourself. Just thinking about starting and finishing an important task motivates you and helps you to overcome procrastination. The fact is that the amount of time required to complete an important job is often the same as the time required to do an unimportant job. The difference is that you get a tremendous feeling of pride and satisfaction from completion of something valuable and significant. However, when you complete a low value task using the same amount of time and energy, you get little or no satisfaction at all. Time management is really life management, personal management. It is really taking control of the sequence of events. Time management is having control over what you do next. And you are always free to choose the task that you will do next. Your ability to choose between the important and the unimportant is the key determinant of your success in life and work. Effective, productive people discipline themselves to start on the most important task that is before them. They force themselves to eat that frog, whatever it is. As a result, they accomplish vastly more than the average person and are much happier as a result. This should be your way of working as well. Wow, man. This just made me think about something. You know how you have those who are addicted to something or like always working, and they just seem to be happy. Like you would think they're tired and they want a break and all that stuff. And some people just don't understand that you just work, you work. That last piece sticks out to me when it says, they accomplish vastly more than the average person and are much happier as a result. When you're working, you're accomplishing things, you're getting things done. So that pleasure center of the brain is being fed by accomplishing tasks. And if the others are not accomplishing tasks, but they just taking breaks, vacations or whatever they plan on doing, that can make them happy for sure, taking a break, taking a vacation. But maybe there's a different type of happiness that you get from accomplishing goals, especially that which was in your brain and your mind, it was non-existent, and you're willing things together to bring it into existence. Maybe that's just a different type of level of high happiness. It's interesting. So it says, make a list of all the key goals, activities, projects, and responsibilities in your life today. Which of them are or could be in the top 20 or 10% of tasks that represent or could represent 80 to 90% of your results? Resolve today that you are going to spend more and more of your time working in those few areas that can really make a difference in your life and career, and less time on low value activities. Now, as you guys think about that for a little bit, low value activities versus high value activities. Some of you right now are writing ebooks, you're writing books, you're doing this, you're making your website. That's fine. But honestly, here's the thing. Maybe you may say, well, I don't have the money to do X, Y, and Z. If we was able to maybe focus on more higher value activities, we will probably have enough money to pay a VA, virtual assistant, to do the low value activities. Because formatting your ebook may be low value. Trying to think about what's your, come up with your cover may be low value. You can honestly find somebody that can do that for less than probably $50. Less than $100 for sure. So some of the stuff we're doing is just that we're doing it and we're busy and we're saying we got to get stuff done. But honestly, it's something we could have delegated. So I want us to start thinking about that, maybe forcing our minds to, as we transition from being entrepreneurs, is whatever the task is to get done, how could I get this done without my physical labor? How could I put people in position? And yes, you're going to make less money as far as, when you do it yourself, you get everything. But you also don't have a lot of time. You also are busy working on a bunch of different areas. You also may be tired. So if you get a project, start to think about, don't think about, what's all my tasks and what I got to. No, how can I train and put somebody in place to do this for me? And see how good that feels. Because that time that you have left now, really, you can go find more people to bring in, more people that you can serve. It's interesting. Consider the consequences. Every great man has become great. Every successful man has succeeded in proportion as he has confined his powers to one particular channel. Let's see what this is talking about. The mark of the superior thinker is his or her ability to accurately predict the consequences of doing or not doing something. The potential consequences of any task or activity are the key determinants of how important a task really is to you and to your company. This way of evaluating the significance of a task is how you determine what your next frog really is. Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard University, after more than 50 years of research, concluded that the long-time perspective is the most accurate single predictor of upward social and economic mobility in America. Long-time perspective turns out to be more important than family background, education, race, intelligence, connections, or virtually any other single factor in determining your success in life and at work. Your attitude toward time, your time horizon has an enormous impact on your behavior and your choices. People who take a long view of their lives and careers always seem to make much better decisions about their time and activities than people who give very little thought to the future. Rule: long-term thinking improves short-term decision making. It's deep. Long-term thinking improves short-term decision making. Successful people have a clear future orientation. They think 5, 10, and 20 years out into the future. They analyze their choices and behaviors in the present to make sure that what they are doing today is consistent with the long-term future that they desire. Working for the future self. Make better decisions about your time. In your work, having a clear idea of what is really important to you in the long term makes it easier for you to make decisions about your priorities in the short term. By definition, something that is important has long-term potential consequences. Something that is unimportant has few or no long-term potential consequences. Man, write that down, y'all. That's a framework, man, for decision making. That's good stuff. That's a framework. If I don't do this, what is the long-term consequence? If I do this, what is the long-term consequence? Man, that's a good way to make some decisions. I'm thinking about some decisions right now. I'm gonna read that again. Something that is unimportant, something that is important has long-term potential consequences. Something that is unimportant has few or no long-term potential consequences. Before starting on anything, you should always ask yourself, what are the potential consequences of doing or not doing this task? Rule: future intent influences and often determines present actions. Yeah, page number 26 right there. Remember that. The clearer you are about your future. You know what? Let's just look at it. Let's just give some examples. Working out. If you continue not to work out, what are the long-term consequences? See how easy that becomes? I'm going to be sick. I'm going to continue to gain weight. I'm going to continue to have low self-esteem, looking in the mirror every day. Man, that's a great way. Hey, man, if you don't make this decision to start to actually defining what your offer is, coming up with your business, and really learning this marketing and learning what you need to learn, what's the long-term consequences of that? Well, I'm going to be still on my job. Is that something you want? No, not really. Okay, so where do we go from here? Say, man, that's something y'all can use as salespeople, boy. Y'all on them phones with your potential clients. Well, hey, let me help you make this decision. If you do not make this decision, what's the long-term consequences? Let's just look at it that way. Wow, I swear I'm using that. Ooh, that's a good way. Man, that's a great way to think about some decisions, ain't it, man? God, dog. That's pretty good. That's pretty good there, man. Think about the long term. Successful people are those who are willing to delay gratification and make sacrifices in the short term so that they can enjoy far greater rewards in the long term. Unsuccessful people, on the other hand, think more about short-term pleasure and immediate gratification while giving little thought to the long-term future. Dennis Waitley, a motivational speaker, says, losers try to escape from the fears and drudgery with activities that are tension relieving. Winners are motivated by their desires towards activities that are goal achieving. For example, coming into work earlier, reading regularly in your field, taking courses to improve your skills, and focusing on high value tasks in your work will all combine to have an enormous positive impact on your future. On the other hand, coming into work at the last moment, reading the newspaper, drinking coffee, and socializing with your coworkers may seem fun and enjoyable in the short term, but inevitably leads to lack of promotion, underachievement, and frustration in the long term. If a task or activity has large potential positive consequences, make it a top priority and get started on it immediately. If something can have large potential negative consequences, if it is not done quickly and well, that becomes a top priority as well. Whatever your frog is, Resolve to gulp it down first thing. Motivation requires motive. The greater the potential positive impact that an action or behavior of yours can have on your life, once you define it clearly, the more motivated you will be to overcome procrastination and get it done quickly. Keep yourself focused and forward moving by continually starting and completing those tasks that can make a major difference in your company and to your future. The time is going to pass away anyway. The only question is how you use it and where you're going to end up at the end of the weeks and months that pass. And where you end up is largely a matter of the amount of consideration you give to the likely consequences of your actions in short term. Thinking continually about the potential consequences of your choices, decisions, and behaviors is one of the very best ways to determine your true priorities in your work and personal life. Obey the law of force efficiency. The law of force efficiency says that there is never enough time to do everything, but there is always enough time to do the most important thing. Put another way. You cannot eat every tadpole and frog in the pond, but you can eat the biggest and ugliest one, and that will be enough, at least for the time being. When you're running out of time and know that the consequences of not completing a key task or project can be really serious, you always seem to find the time to get it done, often at the very last minute. You start early, you stay late, you drive yourself to complete the job rather than face the unpleasantness that will follow if you didn't comply within the time limit. Rule: there will never be enough time to do everything you have to do. The average person in business today, especially a manager in the age of cutbacks, is working at 110 to 130% of capacity. At the jobs and responsibilities just keep piling up. And we have stacks of reading material we still have to go through. One recent study concluded that the average executive has 300 to 400 hours of reading and projects backlogged at home and at the office. What this means is that you will never be caught up. Get that wishful idea out of your mind. All you can hope for is to be on top of your most important responsibilities. The others will just have to wait. Deadlines are an excuse. Many people say that they work better under the pressure of deadlines. Unfortunately, years of research indicates that this is seldom true. Under the pressure of a deadline, often self-created through procrastination, people suffer greater stress, make more mistakes, and have to redo more tasks than under any other condition. Often the mistakes that people make when working under tight deadlines lead to defects and cost overruns that lead to substantial financial losses in the long term. Sometimes a job actually takes much longer to complete when people rush to get it done at the last minute and then have to redo it. It is much better to plan your time carefully in advance and then build in a sizable buffer to compensate for unexpected delays and diversions. However, much time you think a task would take and on another 20% or more, or make a gain of getting the job done well in advance of the deadline. You will be amazed at how much more relaxed you are and how much better you do the job. 3 questions for maximum productivity. You can use 3 questions on a regular basis to keep yourself focused on completing your most important tasks on the schedule. The first question is, what are my highest value activities? Put another way, what are the biggest frogs that you have to eat to make the greatest contribution to your organization, to your family, to your life in general? This is one of the most important questions you can ask and answer. What are your highest value activities? First, think this through for yourself. Then ask your boss, ask your coworkers, and your subordinates. Ask your friends and family. Like focusing the lens of a camera, you must be crystal clear about your highest value activities before you begin work. The second question you can ask, what can I and only I do that, if done well, will make a real difference? This question came from the late Peter Drucker, the management guru. It is one of the best of all questions for achieving personal effectiveness. What can you and only you do that, if you done well, can make a real difference? This is something that only you can do. If you don't do it, it won't be done by someone else. But if you do it and you do it well, it can really make a big difference in your life and your career. What is this particular frog for you? Every hour and every day, you can ask yourself this question and come up with a specific answer. Your job is to be clear about the answer and then start and work on this task before anything else. The third question you can ask is, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? In other words, what is my biggest frog of all at this moment? This is the core question of time management. Answering this question correct is the key to overcoming procrastination and becoming a highly productive person. Every hour of every day, one task represents the most valuable use of your time at the moment. Your job is to ask yourself this question over and over again and to always be working on the answer to it, whatever it is. Do first things first and second things not at all. As Goethe said, things that matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least. The more accurate your answers are to these three questions, the easier it will be for you to set clear priorities and overcome procrastination and to get started on that one activity that represents the most valuable use of your time. So here's our assignment. Review your list of tasks, activities, and projects regularly. Continually ask yourself which one project or activity, if I did it in an excellent and timely fashion, would have the greatest positive consequences in my work or personal life. 2, determine the most important thing you can be doing every hour of every day, and then discipline yourself to work continually on the most valuable use of your time. What is this for you right now? Whatever it is that can help you the most, set it as your goal, make a plan to achieve it, and go to work on your plan immediately. Remember the wonderful words of Goethe: only engage and the mind grows heated. Begin it and the work will be completed. Wow. Only engage and the mind grows heated. Begin it and go when the work will be completed. Tried to make a little rap out of it, but it didn't work. So that is the end of our reading. Press number 1 if you have anything that stood out for you, anything that was a gem, a aha moment for you. Go ahead and press number 1 at this time so that we can hear that feedback. Obviously, I think one of my greatest feedbacks is that I like the positive in the future. What's going to have the biggest negative impact? What's going to have the biggest long-term positive impact or long-term negative impact? That's what we need to put on top of our list. Because think about it. Now we have a criteria to make a decision, and now it doesn't have to be emotional. Some of us make decisions just based on how we feel. I feel like doing this. I feel like that. We don't even think about it. Do we even sit down and really plan what is the long-term consequences of this? Is that even in our thought process? Hopefully now it is. Well, before this, were you just making it based on how you felt? So that's deep, man. That's a great way to plan and think about, what should be done or what you shouldn't be doing based on the consequences. Let's go to Coach Hightower.
Glen Rising. I got caught in the middle of my set. One thing that stood out for me.
Are you on Bluetooth?
Yes.
Yeah, we can't hear you that good on Bluetooth.
Give me a second. All right. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
The one thing that stood out for me is monitoring the tasks. Looking at the tasks and see what value that those tasks have. For example, as you spoke about working out, That's probably one of the biggest frogs I must eat, but I also know the value that comes with that. So knowing that me working out is going to extend my life, is going to keep me healthier, it's also going to help me to make that impact. Because if you're not healthy, you can't make that impact. And making all the money and making all these things don't mean a goddamn thing. Also, looking at these tasks, are these tasks really generating? I'm moving towards my vision. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been making sure that the tasks I'm doing is moving towards my vision. And I also realized, as you were sharing, as you was reading How to Eat the Frog, a lot of tasks that I do, they're tasks and it's busy work. But the busy work is actually moving towards my vision. So for me, it's fun. The other people may be draining. And even, sometimes with my wife, she asks me, why am I working so hard? But it's not work for me. It's not work at all. And everything that I'm doing, even this power call, it goes back towards my vision. It's impacting people. It's learning things about myself, learning things about others. So I think it's very important, man, that we look at things that we're doing and making sure we're measuring it and seeing if it's actually going toward what we're designed to do. As you stated, we're hiring a virtual assistant. Sometimes we don't want to spend that money, but I'm going to tell you guys, since I didn't hire me a virtual assistant for my social media team, it has taken a lot of weight off me. At the same time, it does cause you to still flexibility in your leadership, but sometimes you still got to monitor people and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But at the same time, it has taken a tremendous amount of weight off me because that's not my expertise. And also, just finding those people that you can collaborate with that love to do what they want to do. So these people that I'm working with now, this is things that they love to do. And most of the time they exceed and they strive in that. And if you're not excellent in certain areas, man, they can actually bring a lot of stress. Whereas to somebody else, man, they can just do it with ease. So what I got from this, Brother Ben, is just really looking at the value of what you're doing and making sure we're not just doing busy work, just to be doing busy work. And I want to tell you once again, thank you, brother, for all that you're doing. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for constantly being consistent. I'm complete, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have something that they would like to share? Sister Sherry?
Assalamu alaikum.
Like salam.
Yes, yes, sir. When you read and you said, and it said, do the most important things first, and the small things. Don't even think about the most important things and the small tasks. Don't even think about it at all. I said, boom. I said, because we do tend to I do tend to focus on, okay, let me handle this and that, then once I get organized and this and that, then I can do this and I can do that, and because like you can't when everything is all unorganized, I can't think, and I'm like, and so, but if I just started if I just did those things uh, did those things first, I go ahead and do the big thing. But actually, when they read and it said do the big things first and then the small things, not just the organization. It's you have to be organized in your mind too. So that was a big aha moment. I was like, man, because if I keep doing this right here, it's like I'm running on the like a hamster running on the wheel and not getting anything done. That's the most important things, and I'm like beating myself up, like, man, I didn't get this done, I didn't get that done. But that's gonna be my journey. I'm getting ready to get back on track on my habit tracker, and because that was working for me. The health issues and stuff started kicking in, but I can't make that no excuse. Ain't no excuse. Ain't none. Ain't none. All right. Thank you, Brother Ben. Appreciate you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Sister Tornisa.
Yes, sir. Like
Walaikum
a
salam.
couple of things stood out to me. One of the things he said, the time is going to pass away anyway. That was like, wow, I never thought about it like that. What are you going to do with your time? You're going to waste time, or you're going to mark time? What are you going to do? The time is going to pass away anything anyway. So why don't you make sure that something is done so that it can be completed and you can feel good about it? Because once you complete a task, your goal is done. So it makes you feel good. One of the other things he talked about was, what are my highest value activities? What can I and I only do that have and will make a real difference? And what is the most valuable use of my time right now? First things first, second, not at all. So that was important. What are my highest value activities? And what can I do? What is it that I can do and I do it well that make a difference? A lot of us pass away and we have this information and we have good things, but we die with it and we're in the grave with our ideas and nothing comes out and we just, get buried with that. So I don't want to be that person. I don't want to have great ideas and be buried with them. And then no one gets to benefit from my what God has given me. Because what he give you, that's not for me. I'm not staying in my lane because God gave me something else. And if I really understand that, I'm going to take the time to utilize that time wisely and invest in myself. A lot of times we just lie to ourselves. We don't make our word bond to ourselves first. That's why we really truly can't make word bond to someone else, because we the first person we talk about. We the first person we deal with. And so when you said we talked about it last time, how many questions we ask, how many answers we make questions all the time, and we don't even realize how many questions or decisions we have to make. Do I get up? Do I get out of bed? Do I brush my teeth? We making these questions and we answering them as well. So how many questions are we going to ask ourselves? So the question is, am I making my word bond to myself with the question? And like I said, I don't want to be that person to do that and just sitting here and being marking time. So you got to think about what you got to do first. And sometimes we do go to the least things because it's easier, it's quicker, and we feel like we got a little thing done. But we need to really rethink and think differently in order for us to have a different mindset. I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be a part of this program because it helped us, especially during COVID time when you can't go to groups and you're not meeting and, you're not speaking with people. This platform has allowed us to be able to think and change our mindset. And I just want to say thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Praise be to Allah. Brother Greg. Brother Greg, going once.
I'm here, but I don't know why I do that every time. Peace, family. What stood out to me, man, was when he said about the doing the biggest thing. You do the biggest thing, and then it kind of makes everything else irrelevant. Once you get to what your real focus is, and with me, my day is long, but my day don't actually start when I hit the floor. And that's where I'm mapping my time now, just looking at it. So if my time start when I hit the floor, then my time starts about 3:30 in the morning. So from then until my actual work day starts, that's a lot of time to accomplish something. So I'm looking at my time management. And then I'm looking at what's most important for me to do. I could go through my work day and still go back and say, I'm unsatisfied with what I did today. And I can do that every day. and I justify it by working every day. I work every day. But what I'm trying to accomplish with BWF and digital real estate, that's not getting the time, but that's the biggest part of my day. It should be, because I see what the benefit is in it. And that's a big benefit. So that's what stuck out to me, man. Just mastering your time and prioritizing everything that you do. So when you do that, your day will turn out better. I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? I got to put that to practice now. But your day will turn out better. You will feel better at the end of the day because of what you accomplished, and you still ain't cheat yourself out of pretty much nothing. So, but being a sole proprietor is kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? I get off at the end of the day and I'm tired, but maybe I'm just telling myself I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Just to say I did something today. So that's what stuck out to me, man. And I had to get on to say that.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Yes,
Sister,
sir. Sister Tornisa, that was something that you said stood out to me as well. The time is gonna go by anyway. Man, that's deep, man. Like the time is gonna go by anyway. By the end of that time, where do you want to be? So you can either choose to use it or waste it, but it's gonna go by. That's deep, man. That's deep. We can't stop time. What are you gonna do? You're gonna start exercising, you're gonna start reading, you're gonna start applying. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna wish you did. Like, it's about thinking about your future self. That's another thing to consider. Long term. Like, think about your future self. Do you really love you? We say we love ourselves, but how we treat ourselves in short term really is a reflection of it. We can say it all we want to, but what we do today is affecting literally our future self. Literally. What will your future self be based on what you're doing now? Will it be in a better position? Will you be healthy? Will you be sick? Will you be in shape, or will you be fat or unhealthy? Will you be richer, or would you be making the same? And if you're making the same due to inflation, that means you're making less. Where will you be? See? Will you be satisfied? Will you not be satisfied? Like, this is literally a logical way to just, I don't know if anybody just thought about this, but literally think about what you've been doing. The past 60 days, the past 90 days. If you keep doing what you're doing, what you've been doing, will you be happy with where you're going to be? That's the question to ask. Well, Brother Ben, I don't know what to do on a daily basis. Great. Congratulations. You have discovered a gap. Now go fill it. That's it. So now when you're talking to somebody who's where you want to be, guess what? You got the perfect question. Instead of asking, so where did you go to school at? Instead of asking, so, I've just been struck. Hey, I have no idea what to do on a day-to-day basis to get to this is my goal. Do you have some tips that you can give me? That's it. Once you discover the gap, just find someone that can, and really ChatGPT could probably answer it if we just gonna keep it real. We have no excuses today. We just have to be wise enough to know what questions to ask and how to ask them. There's so much information out here, man. You can get PDFs for free. I mean, man, if you can't even complain about not having money to buy a book today. You can find anything, man. We're not lacking information. We're lacking the right strategy. We're lacking the right mindset, and we're lacking execution. Almost anything y'all say, y'all don't know how to do, I can almost guarantee I can find it on YouTube. Brother Ben, I still don't know how to edit videos. I guarantee you we can pull up a video right now. Speaking of, who was the sister that was supposed to show us something about editing? That done slipped my mind, and it just came back to me. Y'all remember? Who was that sister? We need to hold her accountable. She's supposed to raise her hand and say, hey, I'm ready to teach y'all. So if one of the admin, if y'all remember what I'm talking about, it was something. We was in class or something. Anyway, it'll come to me hopefully. But if anybody remember, let me know. But yeah, man, that's something to think about right there, man. My future self. I got access to the knowledge. I got access to it. I got YouTube. You know, you don't know how to do Facebook ads. I bet you somebody on there doing the Facebook ad tutorial. I don't know how to upload, brother, being on Instagram. I bet you somebody got a YouTube video on it. So the tactical things, as far as like the labor stuff, oh, that's on there. Now, I can't tell you all the right strategies and how to think and how to navigate certain things that you should maybe depend on YouTube. But as far as the work, the skill sets, oh man, it's several videos out there where you can learn skill sets. Udemy.com, those courses ain't too expensive. You can get some for $9, $10. Good courses too. That'll teach you skill sets. So if you need skills in how to do something like that, you ain't got no excuse for that either. You got audio books, you got written books, and then you got access to tutorials if you're a video learner. People will walk you through step by step. So that's it, man. That's all I have, man. But that's something I encourage us to think about. What I've been doing for the past 30 days. Will it produce the person I want to be in 3 years? Wow. Think over that. Will what I'm doing produce the person I want to be in 1 year, in 6 months, in 2 years? If the answer is no, we know what we got to do. Simple. If the answer is no, you know what you got to do. What Michael Jackson say? It's time to make a change. I heard that in my head when I said that. Change. Tupac got a song called Change. Yeah, go listen to it. Do 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 do. So, see so many changes. People never blast myself. And like I'm blast myself. It's hard being poor, even worse. I'm black. My stomach hurt, even looking for a mojo snap. It's time to get him down about a Negro. See, y'all youngsters don't know nothing about no Tupac, boy. Y'all young whippersnappers don't know nothing about no Tupac. Y'all grew up on Lil Yachty. You see, Lil Lilo. You know, Lil Lilo. And Lil Bam Bam. Y'all don't know nothing about no Tupac. Y'all too young for that, boy. Y'all too young for that, boy. Yeah, we used to listen to that. They were back in the 70s and the 60s. Yeah, boy. Yes, sir. 80s. So, we out of here, family. Hopefully y'all got something today that can change your life, that you can start making better decisions for your life. And I encourage y'all to start applying this stuff, man. It can start to work almost immediately. It can really almost start to work immediately. You know, think about that question. What are you doing? I'm creating my ebook, Brother Ben. What's the best use of your time? I can't tell you how many students I've heard, well, Brother Ben, what do I do with the editing and then my graphics? Are you done writing it? No. What are you talking about? The knowledge is in your brain, but you're focused on something that you least good at, graphics, least good at formatting. You're worrying about the wrong thing. Your energy should be on completing the dang book. Finish writing it, man. It don't take that long. Here's the reason you can't finish it, because you spending too much of your brain power worrying about something that you shouldn't even be worrying about. You supposed to be worried about paragraph 3, and you worrying about what your cover gonna look like. Man, pay somebody to do that cover, man. Pay somebody $50, $70, pay somebody a little something to do that cover. You supposed to be finishing that 3rd paragraph. You saying, well, I got writer's block. I would too if I got 50 decisions I'm trying to make that ain't got nothing to do with my real skill set. I have writer's block too. I wouldn't know what to think next either. You overworking your mind. Mind constipated like a mug. Mind just is mind just tired, juggling. And I'm not motivated to write the book yet because you thinking about too much stuff. Clear them tabs. My computer don't like working either when I got all them tabs up. It run a little slower. Yeah, that's how it works. You got 50 tabs open in your mind. Close some of them tabs down that you're not using right now and see how much more clearer you may get. Thinking about too much, man. You wake up in the morning and already put 10,000 thoughts in your mind. Done already put 10,000 thoughts in your mind. First, what's the name? Am I going to eat to live today? Am I going to eat between 4 and 6? Am I going to fast this weekend? boy, I'm telling you, man, them thoughts, boy, y'all, boy, we got way more thoughts than we think we do, don't it, boy? Am I going to study group tonight? Am I going to invite a guest? No, I'm going to invite a guest. No. Boy, you got so many thoughts, man. Man, and it seems like it don't mean nothing because, it's just your mind. You don't feel no pain, but it's like the effect of it is that those most important decisions that you're trying to make at the end of the day or whatever, it's hard to come over you. It's hard for you to really map it out because your mind tired, which is why the other day is important because it's like if I plan ahead, I'm already knowing what my highest value thoughts needs to be, decisions need to be versus me waiting until they come up. I'm already knowing what type of decisions I need to make because I'm planning the day. Telling y'all, this is going to make us effective, man. It's going to make us effective. So with that being said, we will see you guys, inshallah, in the morning. If not in the morning, if we do the assignment, we're going to do Monday. But we probably going to do in the morning to close off the week with a video. I know we ain't been on video, like watch the video. But honestly, I think this is a little bit more effective too. You know what I mean? Reading it, give you a day to digest it. Okay, let me read it. Okay, I got it. Then we discuss it the next day. I feel like it's allowing it to go deeper, a little bit, man. So hopefully this book is helping y'all, man. I seen Sister Gwen ask who's the author. It is on the cover, but Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is the author of the book. He got some pretty good stuff on YouTube too, just about life and, how to think and strategize and mindset and all that good stuff. He got some good stuff. So thank y'all for listening. Y'all have a blacktastic day. Y'all have a productive day. Assalamu alaikum, and all of y'all who in BWF, make sure y'all be present for Sister Courtney's class tonight, Thursday. She is teaching tonight. Dominating in your business. And make sure that you bring good questions. Bring good questions if you need help. And if y'all want to get in the platform, the BWF platform, to learn and get the mentorship, www.bwfuniversity.com. www.bwfuniversity.com.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister.